a little bit about what's called andropause, which is just another word for man pause. For men, they say from age 40 or above, they begin to experience some of these symptoms from menopause.
But they can start as early as 30.
They can start as early as 30 from the standpoint of decrease of testosterone.
Yeah.
However, the state of the hormones of the people that are in the relationship, these are some things that have to be considered. And so today we want to talk about a couple of them symptoms. Rose was saying, basically what came to my mind when she talked about me, I thought to myself, I've been there, done that, and have a t-shirt. You know what I'm saying?
For the both of us.
For the both of us, right?
For the both of us.
So Rose has placed on the website all 12 of the particular facts that they say that consist concerning menopause. We're just going to cover a few and just kind of share with you some of my experiences and things. We're going to look at about 6 right quick. So low sex drive is one. And number 2 is difficulty with erections. Some of these things may cause erection damage.
Right.
So this is
Some
very
things may cause, yeah.
So under the difficulty with erections, may be caused by diabetes, thyroid problems, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, smoking, alcohol use, depression, stress, and anxiety.
Right.
You have to decrease your stress load. Menopause, right? For you. So sometimes stress it could be the trigger, and so you have to learn to cope with what you're going through at your personal age and situations, the Bible say, right? So another one that I like to look at here, when you talk about stress, that one there was more anxiety, but then stress, their cortisol. We live in a society now where you don't never unplug from your job. They got access to you by your cell phone or whatever. It's like your family is connected. The social media and everything. And so, when do you ever unplug and take care of you? You got to have a good, healthy self-love, and that's one of the things that I learned from unplugging on stress. I just took time out for me.
Right. You got to get some me time.
You got to get me time.
You need to find something that you can do that you can, as we say, woosah or unplug.
I know that we specialize on spending quality time together on those things that we've communicated with each other on, that what brings us joy. You know what I'm saying? No matter what that is, and whether you're going through or I've been going through or whatever, we know how to spend quality time on that downtime, even when it's with yourself, right? So, right, and knowing is half the battle, right? So now when you start listening to broadcasts like what we're doing today and doing your own study and research, and I'm sure Rose gonna put some links so that you can dig deeper, and speak volumes to what some of the effects of that is. I'm just looking at when you talked about fatigue, and that is the loss of muscle mass, increased body fat. This other one I want to skip down to is mood changes and effect on your memory. And the reason why I'm looping all 3 or 4 of those together: increased body fat, loss of muscle mass, mood changes and effect on your memory, because I did one thing that affected all 4 of those. Actually affected even
everything on the list.
Everything on the list. Everything on the list.
We'll do another video to kind of share how you've altered your lifestyle, but you can't go ahead and share.
Right. Well, I'm just gonna say about what's going in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? The carbohydrates and the refined sugars, and I was big on, especially when I was stressed, carbs, comfort food. You know what I mean? It's what I would use, and it had an adverse effect.
But one thing that a lot of people don't realize: too much meat turns into sugar.
Yeah, too much meat turns
into sugar.
So now, gluconeogenesis.
When how we are when as we age, we don't love our bodies anymore. And so how many men are going through that now too? It's like I used to look like this. I used to be hard as a rock, and now my body's not as soft as it used to be, not as hard as it used to be, and I'm gaining a little gut. you know. So now they're self-conscious of how they look and how their bodies are changing, and they don't realize that I'm still eating all this meat, and this meat is turning into sugar, which is keeping that brain fog, right?
But my thing is significant about what they call manopause is, and a lot of times they put these names on things because it's based on statistics of what the majority of folks is going through, right? And the majority of what the symptoms is and everything else. But if you back it all the way back down to the root cause of what's going on and correct the issues, you may find that you didn't go through that. I can remember even with a menopause perspective where Rose was talking to her mom and she didn't remember anything about menopause. And it wasn't because she was going through something cognitively in her brain. She didn't experience those things. And
Those hot flashes and things like that. I don't remember her saying ever anything about a hot flash.
Yeah. And when I look at the
and I have had a lady come to GNC and she told me, she said, I asked my mom to tell me about menopause, and she said, her mom said, what is that?
Right.
She didn't even know what the word meant.
Right.
But again, it's the beats.
Yeah. But if you go back and look at all these symptoms, and I'm telling you, just through a dietary change and getting back to how God designed us and what we eat with whole foods, and to Rose's point, foods that does like good quality meats that's not souped up with extra hormones,
and especially
antibiotics and
what's that one I'm always talking
steroids.
About? Yeah, the steroids. Because I was telling Honey, I said, you know, we eating all this. The reason why we can't lose weight like we want to, because everything got the steroids
chicken
in it.
you're finna eat. It's sitting up there.
Right, you eating steroids.
Chicken got guns. We watched the documentary where the legs was breaking. And I used to look when I used to buy a lot of cheap chicken.
Yeah, their legs would be broke.
The legs would be broke already. I'm like, what's going on? Why the chicken leg broke? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the thigh so souped up.
Yeah, they were saying, we had watched a documentary where they said that they gave them so much steroid that they grew too fast that they couldn't hold their body weight.
Couldn't hold their body weight up. So anyway, we started about a better quality meat, and I started doing that really for Rose's sake because she was going through, you know, the symptoms of menopause, and I'm like, well, it makes more sense to me not to add any extra hormones in your system when you're dealing with your hormones.
Right.
Not to mention that the antibiotics that they shoot the animals up with, and then which makes you less, not have a great effect on you when you need the antibiotics, because you're not sensitive to it as you were, because they flood your system with antibiotics.
Well, the good news is, if you eat right, guys, and stay active, exercise, you can offset a lot of these symptoms.
Because it's the will of God. I know Rose said she didn't want to preach on this one, but that your youth be renewed as the eagle. He said you'll walk and not faint, run and not be weary. He'll satisfy you not with good things so that your youth is renewed. So it's not letting this environment and what others have done to become statistics impact your health.
Right. Multivitamin can help, but the main thing is trying to eat the foods that give us what we need.
And I have to be responsible for what I put into my body. And it really don't matter about the whole household. You know, we raising 4 kids. You got to take responsibility for what you put in your body to be the most effective and efficient.
And it's true, you are what you eat.
You are what you eat, man. So, you know, maybe later on we'll get into some of the shortcuts and how we, you know, prepared and made sure that we had what we had.
And the next video, hopefully, we'll just share some of the remedies to offset menopause, and some of the things that you did. It was a blessing that, like I said, working where I was working, that had opportunity to interview all these guys that were 10 and 20 years your senior, and I knew what to expect, and we just kind of had you supplementing and putting things back in at an early age. So that was a blessing, and for me as well. So, again, this is Woodruff Family Wisdom at ppptime.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and visit us on Facebook at Patio Prayer and Praise Time, and our website and blog at ppptime.com.
Now remember
that you are happy, healthy, wealthy, fit, and forgiven.